All righty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody had a lovely day. And with that being said, let's dive into some TA. All right, guys, we did end up seeing the start of our pullback today. We were saying the next 1 to 2 trading sessions, we were likely going to start pulling back over here on SPY, considering how the VIX was looking. We're just going to come over there before we talk and dive into SPY. Guys, anytime the RSI has gotten right down to where it is, okay, right down here, over the last 20 years, you have started seeing it bounce back. What else did we have yesterday? We had the first green bar, which turned out to be a bullish engulfing candlestick on the day after 8 straight red sessions. Okay, typically when we see that, you see these arrows. This is, I didn't just put this on the chart. This was, on the chart coming into the day. All right, come right over here. This is, how I was looking at the market. I'll start off with a reminder that VIX put in its first green daily candle after 8 straight red days, which usually at least marks a period of consolidation on the broader market, if not a pullback / correction. Markets have ran quite a bit, and this would be perfectly healthy in order to see things continue running higher later this month. So really just don't expect too much right now from the indices. Okay. It's not a surprise that we are starting that pullback, or, if it just turns into consolidation, that's fine. But, we very much so knew coming into today, you are not, looking for much stuff on the indices. You're honestly looking for the pullback. It would be ideal to get that pullback. We had the hourly divergences carving out here over the last few trading sessions. And then you also have a bullish divergence sitting there on the daily RSI down here. As the RSI is at the same spot over the last 20 years, you have been seeing VIX start bouncing back from every single time except for one occurrence where the S&P 500 went freaking 10% within a month. I've made it very clear, I don't think that's what we got going on right now. We're in a slow grind higher. All right. And we got that first green bar. It was no surprise to see this. And honestly, I do think this can continue tomorrow. And ideally, guys, it does continue. All right. I will point out in today's video on where we are going to be paying attention to things on this dip. But, this dip, guys, it's healthy. It is, something that we're looking to happen. We're saying, it's going to be healthy for the market in order to see further upside. Because if you didn't, at some point you're going to get a rug pull then. And, I rather have this nice over a few trading sessions, this nice decline, then you just hit it with a big fat 2% down day that scares the crap out of everyone. And, in reality, you're probably still going to get people, getting the crap scared out of them from this little dip. But, we called this beforehand, guys. We have a lot of charts set up to rip. So just keep in mind, guys, we were looking for this before it actually happened. And now that it's happening, we're treating it as a buying opportunity. Do I think it is a buying opportunity right now, tomorrow? No, I think we probably do get another, at least another session of downside here. Coming over to the daily time frame. Okay, we put in, a nice upper wick here. It's not necessarily a shooting star candlestick, but, it's got that look to it here. We could see bears are stepping back in here. And, ideally, we at least come back here, revert to the mean over here to the daily 9 EMA. That is going to line with our 602.47 support here. So now we're going to come back over the 15-minute time frame. You had that bearish divergence, and now, okay, you bounced near support. You held it for the time being, but what do? You rejected the 15-minute 9 EMA. Okay, guys, that 9 EMA is going to be reversion to the mean on all time frames. You rejected it, made a little swing high, and then you took out the low. From this point, guys, I do think we're at least going to come down to, 605.40 support, at least 604.32. I don't think the market's just going to rip higher off of this. I'm going to be completely honest on that. If it does, hey, so be it. Okay, so be it. We are bullish on this dip. I just think it's going to dip a little bit more. I think what VIX has given us right now suggests that probably is going to spike a little bit more, and we're probably going to get a further pullback on the broader market. All right, so underneath 606.80, we have 605.40, 604.32, and then 602.47. That is the one that aligns with that daily 9 EMA down there. Now, coming back over the daily time frame, though, you can see the big level over here is going to be 617. Ideally, we test that 617 level. That would be a picture perfect break and retest. That would be literally just retesting the previous structure over here, Just like you retested, we had that. We were looking for a pullback right after this week, coming into the week. Did we know it was going to come all the way back down there? No, but that was the ideal scenario. Why? Because that was the most recent structure. If you pull back into 617, that is where we're probably going to, get some action going. You're going to have people not wanting to touch it above there. You touch that, you bring a whole wave of buyers back into the equation. You're also going to have this daily 21 EMA catching up to price. It's going to be right around here. So, if you come down to 597.28 to 617, that is my ideal scenario here for this to then, get that so-called Santa rally. Okay. Something like that. I do think 610 will be hit, at least on this rally. It doesn't have to go much higher than here, but, I think we have a lot of major components here still ready to rip higher. We have no reason to be bearish on this thing, so I want to, very much so remind everyone, we were looking for this dip. We are now seeing it. There's no reason to panic there. And, I gave my warnings yesterday. I said, if you're not comfortable with seeing some of these positions that you've seen run, 50 to 100% on this wave up that we rode up, guess what? You should trim that. No financial advice will ever be given here on this channel, but I definitely gave my thoughts on that in yesterday's video, and I said that exact same thing. I still stand by that. That was the move. Okay. If you were not comfortable with sitting through some pain here and seeing some of those gains, those unrealized gains go away for the time being, then hey, all right, you were going to do yourself a favor and make it so your emotions were not going to go all over the place when this thing started pulling back. All right. So that's what we're going to be looking at on the downside over there on SPY. Now, of course, if you just run back up and take out the high 608.48, I think you're just going to run straight to that 610 level. And then, again, ideally, we continue this pullback. I would like reversion to the mean before just going up. You just keep going straight up. That's when, you open up the scenario to have a larger pullback at some point, like this guy. Okay. That could, excuse me, what? That can take 1 to 2 weeks. Something that really just, do you want to sit through this thing? No, I ideally would just want to see a quick move down here and then a quick move back up. That is what I'm really looking for here. And moving over here to QQQ, guys, you have a very similar candlestick on the day. It's almost an inside bar there. But this again is pretty extended off of the daily 9 down here. If we're pointing this out, and same spot as that 617 level on SPY. The most recent structure was built, out at 1558. That was the previous all-time high. That's where you consolidated right here. All right, you found sellers for day, and then you ripped higher, and that brought this big impulsive move up. You are also at the top of this, trend line here. We're pointing out this trend line was going to align with the 525 psychological level. Okay, so it's very likely going to bring, sellers into the equation. You did also have this 15-minute bearish divergence, just carving out this triple 15-minute bearish divergence. So again, this is no surprise. Just like SPY, you came down, okay, and you actually did make the lower low immediately. And you came up and made the lower high off of these 15-minute moving averages. I watched the 21 and the 9, but 9, that is your reversion of the mean right there. Okay, typically 21, if one side is going to hold the line, it's going to be at the 21. Okay, coming back over the daily time frame, if you pull back and you somehow test 515.58, it's going to scare the crap out of everyone. It's going to get a lot of people involved, probably on the short side. They're going to be like, oh my God. And, the people who are doing this probably aren't, the people who've been riding this thing higher and actually making the money on the rally. They're just going to be the people. There's a lot of people out there that just want this thing to crash for absolutely no reason. I don't understand it at all. But, you pull back in that level, you're going to have the 21 right underneath. You're going to have the daily 9 coming and meeting price right here. All right. So I think that would be the ideal spot for this pullback, would be right there. Same thing on the weekly time frame. You could see went higher. Most recent spot, we got some structure. See how you pull back right into the previous structure. Okay. There's no reason to be bearish on that one. There's no reason to be bearish on this one. Pull back right there. Found buyers right at the previous, all-time high there, right there, that zone, the breakout zone. So I'm going to be looking for something similar here. That is my ideal scenario. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying probabilities are we're going to get that scenario. Okay. 15-minute time frame. Let's just go over support and resistance real quick. Okay. Resistance 522.25. Up there, 524.04. And then we have the 525 psychological level. It's going to be somewhere up here. 525 to 526. You'll be slamming your head against this trend line. That is where you should expect sellers next if you were to go and take out the high. Downside, 521.06 is support. Underneath there, 519.60. And then you have 517.15. And then the level I was just talking about, 515.58, which I told you guys, 1 to 2% pullback. Okay. That's 1 to 2% right there, 1.6%, 2%. Okay. This is completely normal. All right. Along these, bullish trends, along these uptrends, that would be down to our 513.37 support. Okay. Right there, the low of that candlestick. Moving over here to IWM. All right. You did start breaking down from the level I was paying attention to, right over here. 239.24, I was saying there's nothing in between there. And down here at 235.57. If you come over the 15-minute time frame, you actually do have this little last line of defense there, that support. Found buyers there right at the end of the day. But, as we just saw on the daily time frame, there's really nothing in between here and down there. So I have to assume that is where price is heading. Another 1% lower for IWM over here. And we pointed out, you have the daily 9 here, and then you have the 21 sitting right down there with our 235.57 support. I think we're probably going to get buyers back into the equation right over here. That was what I was looking for. If 239.24 is taken out, that is what I'm still going to be looking for. Nothing has changed there. Okay. And now that that is served its purpose, we'll take that off the chart. DIA, guys, again, same thing as SPY and QQ. Look for, buyers off that previous spot that we had structured, just like you had over here. Okay. It's going to be 444.87, 444.87. And right underneath, you're going to have the 443.57 gap. And that will become a gap, though. You have the 21 that's probably going to meet you halfway right here over the next 2 trading sessions. It's going to be right over here. And then, you got the daily 9 right there. But I have a feeling we're going to test that 444.87 level right there. Okay. And just to review VIX one more time and just sum up what we had. Okay. Daily RSI, same spot. You've gotten the same bounce every single time except once. You just grind it out. And then you eventually got a big bounce. I'll show you. Okay, it was right. Was it there? We'll go like that. Right here. It took a month right there. You got a big bounce. Okay? I don't think that's going to be the case right now. I just do not think that's going to be the case. I think you're probably going to get a bit more of a spike action over here on VIX. And then this thing is reset. It's somewhere in the middle over here. We can then look for it to come back down. We get our Santa rally. And then eventually we get a decent sized VIX bounce. I do think that's going to, or VIX spike, we'll call it. So, ideally we get something like this. Maybe it's that. Maybe it doesn't take out the low. And then it goes like that. Or if it does take out the low, we'll look for another point of divergence to get put in. But, ideally this takes like, maybe this week. There is one ticker this time around that I'm watching right now. I think it's going to go against the market. We called it out in yesterday's video. We said it's ready. It's just about ready. Today proved that it's ready. It wants to run. Okay. And now we're going to talk about that bad boy right now. Tesla, what you guys have all been waiting for. What I have been waiting for. Tesla right over here, guys. You did pop above 361.93. Above there, you really have absolutely nothing until 384.29. That is where I think comes in the short term. Probably tomorrow. All right. On the daily time frame, we could see, you get the increasing volume coming in. We pointed out you had all this declining volume this whole time. All right. And now the volume is starting to pour back in. I want to see more volume. I want to see this thing test 384.29. And above there, we have 402.67 and then 414.50, guys. That is this high from over here, this high right there, and this high right there. I think it's pretty much, guaranteed at this point. We are going to reach a new all-time high. Not going to say in the short term here, but, I've been saying December into January. That's when I think that was going to happen because, this is, it's going to be part of the government. There's not really a reason to, doubt that this thing is going to behave rather nicely. Okay. That is that. All right. That's Tesla. If it pulls back in 361.93 tomorrow, I think it'll probably just be a break and retest. Daily 9 is going to be right underneath. I think it holds, and I think we rally into that next week. Microsoft. All right. Oh, this is my baby over here. This is what we were calling out from right over here. After this day, you rallied right up to the perfect spot. What did you do? What did you do, Microsoft? What did you do? All right. You got above the 0.786 fib there. We knew it was time. I'm kidding. It was down here. Okay. You got above it right there. It didn't matter that you closed underneath it. What mattered is that you poked your head above it and you told us you've showed your next move. All right. The next move was it wants to run. It wants to go for the 100% retracement. It wants to test 438.50. What did it do next? Tested 438.50 above there. All we need is 441.85, guys. Today we got that. It has started over here on Microsoft. I'll just put on what I was pointing out the other day. All right. You got your first weekly, crossover here in quite some time, right near the zero line. This thing's probably about to go for a ripperoonie. I'm for it. You're for it. Take out 450 next, guys. This thing's probably going to start shooting up to all-time highs in an impulsive manner over the following weeks. I'm all for this freaking thing. Okay. Microsoft and Tesla, these are the things that, I think are going to have, clear as day moves. You're seeing volume rise on this, this rally as price is rising. That's exactly what you want to see. Okay. Exactly what you want to see. You see the red days, you see how there's barely any volume, and then boom, you come back with the green. You get the volume spikes. That is what you want to see, ladies and gents. Above 450. Okay. Above 451, we'll call it. There's really nothing. This isn't much. Okay. There's not much structure there. You could put on this level right here if you want. Okay. 457.26 above there. There's absolutely nothing. We're coming up to 468.35. Apple, guys, this is what we were saying. A lot of things were at ideal points to pull back here. Apple has been quite extended. If it pulls back, picture freaking perfect. Give me 237.23. I think it's a spot to pounce on this thing. I think it's going to be looking real pretty. All right. And I think it's probably going to have this grind just like this. Okay. Reached overbought territory, just like we are right over here, guys. You want to see where this thing is right now? Same exact spot right there. You get your steep pullback for 2 days. This is ideally what I want to see on the indices too. I want to see this quick 1 to 2% pullback into structure. See how you had structure right over there? Well, the same exact thing over here on Apple. And you shoot back up within 2 trading sessions, back up to the highs. This is money. Okay. You could either go with the risky grind higher, or ideally what I just showed you guys at the beginning of the video in my morning brief this morning. We get what we want. We get the ideal scenario. We get to play that pullback. We get to buy the dip on that pullback at key spots. We got a bunch of break and retests here. We get to ride it up for that next leg higher. And that is the scenario where you have volatility enter the equation again instead of being, stuck down here at lows. Because when the VIX is low, you're not going to have a lot of volatility. Ideally, we get that VIX spike we were talking about before it even happened. Before that green day spiked, okay? Before we had the first green day over there, we were looking at that coming into the week. We had the bullish divergence. We had the RSI sitting down there. We knew to be cautious on the long side over here. We know the dips are likely to be bought. Everything's looking mighty bullish over there on the Mag 7 stocks and then the chip stocks. But we are looking for that dip here, okay? Now we're getting it. Don't you dare freaking forget that. Don't buy into the market crash crowd. Don't do that. Those people, guys, I actually laid it out, this morning. Or maybe it was this afternoon. But, I laid this out for someone. And I just point out how easy it was if you are just, an investor going on the long side, a long trader, a long investor. Very obvious to find out when the market is turning. Okay? This whole time, let's just look at this. This whole time, you kept making the higher lows. There is no denying it. Okay, so we're going to talk about it. All right? I'll label it out for us right here. We're going to start right here. You have this. You have this. This right here, okay? We'll make that a white one. You're still in your downtrend at this point. You don't know what's going to happen, but then you have a higher low. And then what happens? You have your first higher high. And that right then and right there, weekly trend has switched to bullish. And you have another higher low, followed by you break out. You know you're having a higher high. So now we have our next higher high. Now we just know to follow the trend. Okay? We know to literally follow it at that point. All right? You have your first sequence of higher lows and higher highs. And you know to just follow that bad boy. Okay? And right here, higher low compared to over there. What happened next? Equal high / lower high. So now, you're starting to pump the brakes. You're like, I don't know what's happening. Okay, and this pullback, maybe you're uncertain. Maybe you want to stay out the waters, okay? Maybe you bought this dip. Maybe you want to just stay out. You're on break even at this point. what happens? You make the higher low. And of course, you don't know it's a higher low until after that. So that's what I'm saying. You're going to miss some of the bone, some of the meat here. Okay? Some of, your chicken wing, you're going to be missing it guaranteed. That is how it works when you're just riding out trends. You're going to miss it. There are going to be times when you sit on your freaking hands and you just got to accept that, hey, I don't know what's happening next right now. If you want to take the safe route, okay, and you want to continuously make money in this market, I'm showing you exactly how to do it right now in the weekly time frame. Okay? And then you take this out. So this was your higher low compared to over here, because now you just took out the high right here. Well, automatically now you're back in a bull trend. Okay? You pump the brakes with right here. And then you're like, wait a minute, trend is completely neutral, okay? You start getting bullish here. You could ride this guy out. You're riding that guy. You're looking for dip buy opportunities here, because as obviously, you're not coming back here. If you come back down here and you take that out, you're like, okay, I got to take my loss. It's going to happen, okay? The point of this game is to get the meat on the bone. I talked about this concept today to someone, and like, real talk, this is all as complicated as it needs to be, guys. Now you have a higher high. It actually got put in right there, okay? And then, now we're back to white. Okay, we're back to white. You have a higher low right there. And, you have a bunch of mini ones here. You could be playing. That'll be on the daily time frame there. But, I always pair the setups I find on the daily time frame with this weekly trend. Right now, it's definitely bullish. But, I'm just going to go over how to catch this. I'm going to go over how you could have saw this one coming. All right. You got another higher low or higher low. Keep going. Higher low, higher low, higher high. What is that? Okay. You still got it going on, huh? Well, see how this was the last low right there. It's very clear on this weekly chart. Very clear. You got a double bottom going on right here. Very clear. This was the spot to watch right over there. I know I made a slanted line, but right here. See how you made that lower low over there, past that previous one. So now what are we going to do? Mark this out with red. Okay. Then what was the next one? Lower high. And obviously, guys, you don't know this. This is what I'm saying. The second you took out this low, if you were buying this dip right here, just take your freaking loss. Okay. I'm just talking, strictly to long investors or traders here. Okay. You're swing trading with time. All right. You're buying this dip. Let's just say you were buying in the golden pocket. It would have been right around over there. You bought with time. You're not suffering too much theta decay over there because you got 2 months in your contracts. You catch that, rebound. Normally there's a dead cat bounce. That's why I like playing with time. Even if you're going to sit through some red, well, you got the next support down here. It's probably going to bring a bounce. You swept the low. You got the bounce. Maybe you're buying here at the golden pocket right there. I can almost guarantee that's exactly where it's going to be. Okay. See right where I draw the red. That's where, I personally would be looking for those opportunities. But I know you're probably going to bounce right there. You always, not always, but you typically are going to get that dead cat bounce. And then within 2 weeks here off of there, you get that. You could sell for, maybe it's not break even, but maybe it's a 10% loss, 10, 20% loss. It's not going to hurt you. Okay. That's what I'm saying. You're just getting the meat on the bone. It is okay to take losses in this game. Okay. Because in reality, if you do what I'm saying, you're going to know to follow the trend. Right after here, you took out the low. Okay. Well, what happened now? You have an equal high. We're going to say the trend is, it's neutral. Okay. But what happened next? You stayed with the bearish trend. You made the lower low, followed by the lower high, followed by the lower low. Right here. Okay. That's what made you start getting there. Okay. And you went over there. Okay. And maybe you see this. Okay. You're buying somewhere over here. Golden pocket again is going to be right over here. Same concept. You're buying with time. You came down. You actually started finding buyers right around support. You got your dead cat bounce. Okay. So, if you are an investor, this is how you could have avoided this whole freaking mess here after this sequence right here of your higher, lower lows and lower highs. That is how you would have done it. You would have stayed out of most of the mess here for 2022. You would have been able to avoid it. Okay. And this would have faked you out a little bit because this is a higher high compared. I remember it faked me out. A higher high compared to over here. Okay. But then you made the lower low and you're like, what's going on? Okay. What's going on? But you have this freaking weekly bullish divergence going on sitting down there. Okay. This is all hindsight, but in reality, this is you strictly getting the meat on the bone. You got all of this meat on the bone, and then you put your caution, you put your brakes on right here. Okay. And then you could have avoided this if you're a long investor trader. Okay. I don't recommend anyone short-term trade. I don't like shorter expirations. I despise them. I have not done very well with them over the last, few years. I have only really found a method to the madness with, we're talking about 2 months time. I like 1.5 to 2 months. You can go further out. I think you're going to have a better time. Who cares? You're not getting insane gains. You can get consistent gains. Okay. If you want, I will show you my method to the madness. I try and do so in a free manner here on the YouTube. If you want personalized help down there, I'll just show you how to do it in real time. Okay. But right over there, let me show you. So now you're like, what the heck is going on? Okay. So now you're back to bearish. You're like, what's going on? Well, what happens next, guys? All right. You make the lower high. You're like, okay, if you're a trader, you're trying to short it. But, in reality, you did end up coming up and doing the golden pocket. You still got to trade out of that thing. You did. Okay. But what happened next, guys? You made a higher low. And then right when you took out that previous high right there, okay, you knew you had your first sequence of higher lows and higher highs. This is where the trend now has never came back down, except for right over here. I'll show you again. You're just catching the meat on the bone, guys. Now you're coming back with the bull trend, equivalent high, low, and then boom. Okay? That was your next. So, again, you caught the meat on the bone. You come down. Okay? Higher low. Lower high? Question mark? Yeah. Lower low. So, it's right here. You're staying out of it. Again, we're going to change the white because now the trend, you're just following the trend. I'm only teaching you guys how to follow this freaking trend. All right? The second when you took out this high, you're like, oh my gosh. We just really made another higher high. So you knew this July, we're going to call it correction now in hindsight. You knew this was a correction. We knew this was a correction at the time. Okay. But I'm just going over, how you could follow these things. Okay. If you were not, if you were on the channel back then, if you're not new to the channel, if you were with me over here, yeah, we knew we were looking for 3 waves down. I remember this thing, or 5-wave sequence down, and we were looking for 3 impulsive moves down. I remember this. Okay, and I remember it kind of perfectly went with the golden pockets too. It was kind of crazy. All right, but this is why I like my strategy. You were able to catch some things on SPY and QQ over there, okay? Regardless, you took that out. You make your higher high there. You make a higher low. And then right when you take that out, oh, this is the meat on the bone you catch. This is where the money is made. So what? You had to sit out or take some losses in between. It's okay. We're only here to catch the meat of the move. Higher low, higher high, higher low, equal high, higher low. We were just over here. I know we were damn bullish on that one. What happened again? We resumed the trend. Higher high, higher low, and that takes us right up. Well, technically, you had another higher high right there, another higher low, and that takes us up to today. Okay, this is how you catch the meat on the bone. This is why market crash is all bogus. It's bogus. Because I know that just took 10 minutes. I understand. But, this is all for the newbies. This is all for the people who don't know and are scared that the market's going to crash. Guys, here on this channel, I promise within a few weeks, we're going to know to pump the brakes on the bullish talk. We're going to know to not buy the dip within a few weeks. All right? Why? Because we know how to catch the meat on the bone here on this channel. That is what we are all trying to do. You are not trying to time a freaking market crash because in reality, it's so obvious within a few weeks. Give it 1 to 2 months. You'll know you are now in a downtrending market. You should pump the brakes on this. Never be over leveraged. All right. Don't be all in on any of these things. Don't be, betting the farm. Don't do it because in this game, you're going to have these periods where you're like, oh my God, now I see it. I shouldn't buy this dip. And then you got to wait. And then you got to wait for it to prove to you that it's ready to move up and continue that bullish trend. And that is what we have right here. And ever since then, it's been clear skies, guys. All right. So I'm quickly just going to do all that. Oh, come on. Do it. Do it. There. It's so quick. So quick. Look at that. It took us 10 minutes to draw it. It took us like 5 seconds to erase it. It was so beautiful. But in reality, that is as easy as it gets, guys. And right now, we have a higher high being printed. Expect a higher low if you have a multi-week pullback. I don't even think it's going to be a multi-week pullback. I think it's going to be bought up within, a week or two. Okay? So I just thought I'd cover that real quick for all you market crashers out there and anyone who, is getting scared that, oh, it can't sustain itself. It's continued to go up. Guys, we have a bunch of these components looking like they want to explode. You got Tesla, you got Microsoft, okay? These are the major components of SPY and QQQ. You got Apple at new all-time highs, guys. Ride the wave, get the meat on the bone while we have it, okay? Because there will be a time when we ain't got it and we got to pump the brakes. But now is when you make your money. Now is when you make your money. I hope you guys are printing money out there. Tesla's next up. Tesla's our money printer. The next one, Microsoft as well. Okay, but give me an Apple pullback. All-time high over here at 237.23. We watch it, we buy it. No financial advice on this channel. Give me an Amazon pullback. 215.90. We watch it, we buy it. Okay, anywhere between, here, 212.25, 215.90. It's a buy in my personal opinion. We are going higher. Okay. This thing's weekly chart looks insane. The monthly charts look insane. You based above the previous all-time high. It wants to go higher. This just started another extension style move off of this. Okay. This was just digesting all of this. You had people ready to sell. You didn't have enough buyers there. So you based above it. And then you had another reason to buy. That is just how these things work right now, guys. We're catching that meat on the freaking bone. You pull back. We already hit our targets here. We hit all the targets. This was on the focus list this week. We hit all of them as of today. As of yesterday, 220 smack dead on the spot. Check out right here. Right there. 220 right on the spot. I would like a pullback. I think it's going to serve as a buying opportunity. You got Google over here. You got it just like Microsoft. You showed your next hand. Okay, you showed what you want to do. You got above the 0.786 fib here. Okay, chances are you're going to find buyers off of these short-term moving averages, just like how SMH is looking right now. And then you continue higher from there. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to mark out this new swing high over here on the daily time frame. Pull back, give us a higher low over here, take that out. You're probably going to take out 180.17 the short term if you get back above 177.71, and then you're probably going to test 183.79. I have to assume because of how this weekly chart is looking that you're going to take it out. Okay, bullish on the dip. I hope I've made myself very clear. Meta, fresh all-time high breakout. So what? It's pulling back and retesting all-time high, guys. If you're not new to the channel, you know for a fact this is my main setup. This is a bullish setup. No doubt in our minds on that one. All right, daily 9 is going to be meeting you halfway up there. 594.80 to 602.95. You look for buyers, step back into the equation over there. We like it. Okay, moving over the chips. What do we also like, guys? The fact that you had this ugly double bottom breakout. Okay, you got that going on right here. Here is your neckline. You're retesting it right now. You have the short-term moving average, the 9 to 21 on the daily time frame sitting right below. Where did you reject, guys? That's why it's within our system that we talk about every single video here on this freaking channel. All right, we talk about break and retest. We talk about trend. We talk about our golden pockets, inner moving averages, and volume. There's a lot of stuff we talk about, but we put it all together and it's all within the system. Golden pocket, okay, right over here. You put in the hammer. We called for a bounce. We're looking for 251.50 to 256 to be tested in the short term. If you could take out these short-term moving average because you got rejected there, you got above it, you based above it for a day, and then you shot up to your golden pocket. I did think this was either going to, continue higher today or put in like a bullish engulfing candlestick just because I looked back and I could not find, a hangman candlestick that marked a short-term top. Okay, like, more often than not, you're just going to keep rallying off these things. I was expecting the same. You did not do that, but the picture is still, pretty sexy in my eyes here. You rallied off the 200 moving average right here. Just like over here, just like over here, just like over here. All right, guys. Right here. 22% within a week. All right, right here. This is the weakest move we've had the whole time. So I will also just, point that out. But, within 5 days, a week here, 9%. From right here, not the bottom, but from right here. All right, within 5 days. 7 days. Yeah, okay. You had a 9% move. Right here, you didn't even get that. Okay, you didn't get that. You got a 6% move within your week. Okay, and now you're pulling back. I think this has more meat on the bone. You're pulling back into the moving average that you're rejecting over here. At least look for a bounce off here, at least a dead cat bounce. I think we're going to be, you know, coming back up here at 250, 251. But if not, you're going to take out 253, and then you're going to test 256. You get above 256, you have 262.26 incoming. And then you get above here, and we start pushing all-time highs. I don't know exactly how it plays out, but I will gladly call the price action as we go. And I hope you guys are making money off it. There you go. Over here on NVIDIA, the big boy. All right. Right here, guys, you were stalling out in the golden pocket. If you're playing this guy, all right, even if you bought right off here on the retest, you know, 3 or 4 weeks out, I know for a fact, because you were up 30 to 60% at these highs. You have a reason to take some money off the table, guys. Stop being, you know, I said, don't take it the wrong way. Don't be a greedy pig. I said in yesterday's video. This is exactly what I was talking about. We were looking for the pullback market wide. We had a lot of key spots being tested. It, you know, never goes straight up. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does go straight up. But, you know, even during these, it doesn't go straight up. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? You continuously pull back, revert to the mean. Right here, you made the lower high, and then boom, you made the lower low. And this is what I was saying. You're just trying to catch the meat of the move, guys. From here to here, you had a sequence of higher lows and higher highs. Right here, you didn't take out, you put in a lower high, and then you took out the low. So maybe you're just cautious. You're waiting to buy the dip at, you know, a steeper discount here. But at the same time, within our system, it marked the bottom. 0.786 Fibonacci retracement right there. Okay, I know where to buy these dips, guys, and you know, I talk about the system all the time here on the channel for absolutely no cost to you. I hope you guys, you know, are using it to your benefit. I know there's, you know, a lot of other channels that probably don't make sense. I really do, you know, focus on the teaching aspect on this channel as well as, you know, in my community. I really just want to teach people how to read the charts because, you know, that really is it. Okay, if you can make sense of the charts, you're going to be able to make money. All right. Trading psychology aside, if you can make sense of these charts and you become a chartist, you can make money. Pull the pocket test right there, right off our support, bounced up to new high. Okay. You can make money if you know how to read these charts. Bounced off here. We knew it was likely that you were at least going to be coming up here. So maybe you took the play off of here and you rode up to here, even if you didn't come up here. Okay. It's fine. You got this little, you know, part of your meat on the bone right there. And then if you did, it got above here. Maybe you sold. Maybe you saw it gap up above here and you did what I did. You sold right over here. Okay. You got this little meat. And then you got the buyback right here on the retest of the EMAs. Okay. And then you rode it up to where you knew price was going to be, you know, attracted to, which was the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement as well as your resistance right there. 144.42. Boom. Okay. I'm just saying, I think this maybe comes down, makes a higher low over here, okay? And then maybe continues higher. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go, but that's why I said don't be a greedy pig in yesterday's video. All right? You should, you know, be scaling out as these things happen. That's NVIDIA, okay? We're going to come over to Avgo, guys. You gapped up, said this move surprised me, but again, it's within that system. You literally came right up to the 0.618 fib. You're pulling back into the short-term moving averages here on the daily time frame. Expect buyers here. You were seeing sellers, sellers, sellers. Now, expect buyers. Okay, you just reverted back to the mean. That's what I'm looking for. I'm also looking for a bigger bounce in Avgo over here, probably off earnings. And that is that. Okay, TSM. Well, you got above the 0.786 fib today, but you know, no surprise that's, you know, seller's last stand over there. But you did get above it. All right, and you are above the trend line. So if you see something like this over the coming trading sessions, guys, probably going to be bought up. Okay, either here or it comes a little lower there and tests the short-term moving averages, which will be right here. And then you go up. All right, regardless, this thing wants a new all-time high. We called it out, you know, with how this thing was looking off the 21 over here on the weekly candle. It had a hammer. Did we know this was going to print? No. Okay, but we knew where it would act as a magnet. Trend line, golden pocket, and that's that. If you could get above 193.47, it was probably going to be doing that. Okay? I have a habit of selling out early. I sold right over here at 190. I was sad about it. But it's okay. It's okay. We caught some good stuff over the past few weeks, guys. I really do hope you're killing in this market. I know the market is tricky, guys. I try and make it as easy as possible for you guys. And, you know, I hope you guys aren't just listening to what I say and going along with it. I hope you make sense of these charts for yourself and are charting yourself. Okay. ARM sold off from, you know, 0.618 fib, golden pocket to golden pocket action right there. You're now testing these short-term moving averages from the upside. You also do have the 200 MA sitting right here, all right? So we have a lot of confluence sitting right here. I think you're probably going to get bought up. I like how you have this ugly double bottom over here. Broke out to new high. I know it's a false breakout for the time being, but the point is you had this higher low, followed by a higher high. Expect another higher low, followed by a higher high. That's what I'm expecting over here on ARM. INTC, guys, we said, you know, after this day right here, it's not worth it. Just stay away from it. You broke this uptrend over here. You broke your 0.786 fib, 2250. And now you're in the next golden pocket. It doesn't look like you're going to stop there. You have this heavy volume going on. I know the daily RSI is over there, but guys, just stay away. There's no point in touching this thing when we have things with strength that we are clearly calling out consistent setups on. INTC is not one of them. We called it out for the bounce right here off the 0.618 fib. It was in a flag-like manner. Then you got rejection off your trend line right over here, as well as golden pocket. All right. Like if you're buying here, it's a clear as day point to sell, and you were up pretty penny right there. Okay. There you go. But now it's dying. Take out 20, and it's coming down to 1851. It's coming down to a new low. It's probably coming down to a new low anyway. What the heck is this thing? It's tragic looking. Okay. MU. All right, guys, this one I'm just going to say, you did reject the 0.786 fib today. All right. It's a little troll. I'm still going to, you know, hold the opinion. I mean, I wasn't trading anyway, you know. I was pretty transparent. This thing, AMD is known to be a troll. I started, you know, getting my hand dirty in there. Okay. But right over here on MU, I see no reason to trade this thing. It's kind of sloppy. We'll take off the 200 MA right there. All right. AMD over here, though, guys, you know, it's starting to turn around over here. I'm liking how things are looking. And then I also saw this from TrendSpider. And I was like, oh, you know, that's a lot of confluence going on right here. I'm going to take a stab at it. You know, I know you're rejecting the weekly 9 right there, but I do think you have potential to have a quick move up to 150.52 if the market decides to, you know, turn around here. In the meantime, guys, if it consolidates while the market pulls back, that is strength. All right. Regardless, I like that you took out this high over here. You got the double bottom set up right here on the moving averages. I will not be surprised if you now take out this high. All right. That's what I'm going to be looking for. 144.12 above there. 150.52. All right, guys. Now, Bitcoin. Guys, I don't know what else to say about this. This is a pretty ugly candlestick right here. You know, I'm not really going to give my outlook here. I'm just going to say I favor Bitcoin pulling back. You know, was very transparent on that. I still think that is probably going to be the case here. You're rated 100K. Everyone's ready to sell at 100K. You did hit it, and you didn't go far. You hit 103K, and, you know, the fact that I told you guys I wasn't going to be touching these things. I definitely have, you know, setups over here on these things. They're looking, you know, pretty sexy. Okay. But after what was happening today, I mean, this is exactly why I don't want to touch these things. I was going to get trolled. I was going to get trolled if I tried touching these things. You know, you're not getting continuation. You sold right off of the 0.618 fib over here. You're back at the trend line. It hasn't gone anywhere. And Bitcoin now looks like this. Don't touch this thing. Okay. CLSK was another one. You had the setup. You sold off the 0.618 fib. All right. Golden pocket to golden pocket. You were still selling just like over here. There's no reason to touch these things, guys. No reason to touch these things. Just, you know, keep that one in mind. Mara, you guys want to see something again? I know. It's too freaking perfect. I know, guys. You know, that's why I don't want to touch these things. They were setting up. The fact that they didn't really move well with Bitcoin going to 100K, I was like, something's fishy right here. All right. I figured I'd be trolled on the move anyway. Coin, this is the one I'll say. This is the biggest troll of them all. You got the 330 breakout, and you put in another upper wick. Close the week out like this, guys. You know, I have to assume this thing is going to be pulling back here. We're probably going to test the low of the range. You just swept the high of the range. When you do that and you get a false, you know, breakout there, you typically will test the low of the range. That is that. MSTR, another one. You know, it speaks for itself, guys. Speaks for itself. You didn't even hit the 0.618 fib on this one over here. But, you know, this candle speaks for itself. Increasing volume on it. just don't touch them right now. I'm giving you guys plenty of opportunities on, you know, tickers that we know are probably going to be behaving. Bitcoin, it's sitting up near 100K. You got really no reason to touch it right now. That's just my personal opinion. No financial advice on this channel. All right, now some updates. Some updates on some trade ideas, guys. Congrats to anybody who was, you know, holding Roblox calls over here, or, you know, if you got equity in this guy over here, you're just playing with shares. All right, you know, congrats if you were holding out for that move above 55.10. We knew there was practically nothing until 60.50. We knew this one, you know, once it had the first same concept as VIX over there. All right, but except with this one, I was just pointing out, if you have bullish structure, typically, you know, if you have that sequence of, you know, you have your high over here, you had these 3 red weeks, you have the first green bar, typically you'll see the recovery. You got these red weeks, you had the first green bar, you saw a big recovery up to new highs. Okay, continuation style moves over here. You had a perfect break and retest off the weekly 9 over here. We knew coming into this week, Roblox was, you know, probably going to be starting to move back up towards 55.10. That was the second target. Up here at 60.50 was the third target of the week. This is also on the focus list over there for a break over 50.73. What do we get on Monday? Break over 50.73. Congrats to anybody who played this. This thing is probably just starting to move. I do think it is going higher to 73.71. Above 60.50, you don't really have anything until up here. Okay. 69.77 and then 73.71. I think this is going higher, guys. I think it's probably, you know, going to find sellers in the zone here. And after that pullback, that'll present the next opportunity. Okay. For the time being, guys, got nothing to be bearish on over this. It's probably, you know, going to take this out and then potentially come all the way up here to 70 beans. Okay. Next one I think is setting up in the market weakness. Okay. Nike. There's a little flag off the moving averages. I'm really liking this thing. It's just, you know, building out your little base over here over the previous high right here. Okay. After you broke out of the falling wedge, you know, flagging above the short-term moving averages, above your break and retest level right there at 72.65, 77.65, my bad. You know, it's looking really nice, guys. It's looking really nice. Pop your head above 79.93. It's probably going to have a quick move up to 82.42. All right, another one we knew, you know, on this week of consolidation after printing a hammer, probably going to be followed with, you know, some continuation. I pointed out, I referenced this one right here. You know, you consolidated and then boom, you hit it with another big week. Well, that is the same thing. We're now up 14% on the week over here after, you know, 2 weeks ago, we had a 35% move on the week. Volume is still pouring in here, guys. I do think 30.92 is going to be hit in the short term. Pullback is welcome. It probably gets bought. So if you pull back to 24.85 somehow, it probably gets bought. All right, up to new highs. I'm liking how this thing is moving. I really do. This is Roblox looking pretty sexy over there, all right? Next one, all right? And I'm just going to say, there's no reason to jump into it yet. We're probably going to get something like this. You're going to get the green bar. Okay, you're going to get the green bar from oversold territory here on the daily RSI over here. Okay, there's going to be something telling you the tide is changing. And right now we don't have that. Okay, but now we are watching for the daily RSI to hit oversold territory just like it did over here, just like it did over here. Okay, you get the first green bar. Well, what happened after that? From that close, you had another, you know, about a 10% move. That could be a move you play. But right now you're just catching a falling knife. This was originally what we were paying attention to. We said, and as long as it, you know, is under 73.63, there's no reason to touch it because that would have been, you know, first higher low into a higher high. Guess what didn't happen? Okay, you couldn't break it. You couldn't break it. That was the last high over there. So you still got bearish structure going on over here. No surprise that, you know, you're either watching it consolidate or it's going to come lower. You broke 69, gold to pocket from here to here. You came lower. All right, you came down to the spot that we originally watched. You finally hit it today on, you know, heavy volume there. But notice how you didn't even get a wick just like over there. You just got, you know, the heavy move down over there. Probably is going to be followed by a gap down. And then, you know, over the next 1 to 2 trading sessions, we probably see something build out here. We get some nice wick action. We get a green bar. And then it gets bought up from there. All right, so watch for 61.70 to hold. That's the 0.786 fib. If you see the RSI, daily RSI hit 30 over here, the bottom is probably close for that dead cat bounce. At least a dead cat bounce. We never know. Okay, right up here, you took out, you made pretty much an equal high over here. Okay, and then right over here, this is where you started. You had your, you know, higher low into a higher high. You knew to be bullish on this next dip. What happened? you ended up seeing, you know, bull step in on this next dip in the perfect spot. If this thing can let me, okay, we'll do it this way. Okay, almost there. And then, yeah, you wrote it in there. And, you know, ever since, guys, it's been this downtrend. And, you know, you broke out for a little bit, but you couldn't make the higher high. Okay, now we're going to be watching that guy. And that is pretty much all I have to show you guys for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it was a longer video. You know, I really do want to focus on, you know, just helping the people that watch these videos that are in my community. You know, guys, we are one giant community. We're almost at 10,000, you know, people over here. This wasn't the case, you know, a year ago. It wasn't even close to the case. We only had like 4,000 or 5,000 of us. And, you know, we are consistently growing here on this channel. Every video, we bring like 10 to 30 people in, depending on, you know, the video, guys. For some reason, people want to really hop on in these bearish thumbnails. We got like 35 to 40 new people last night. People love seeing Henry go bear mode. You love seeing the bear in the thumbnail. This is another one. We're going to have, you know, a bearish looking thumbnail. So probably people are going to come. But guys, if you're making money off this stuff, please remember to leave a like. And, you know, I really would appreciate it if you just reach out to one other person in your life that, you know, would benefit from this information. And then, you know, they're gonna associate you with that information. It's going to be good information if you're making money and you consider it good info. Okay. And you know someone else can benefit from it. I would personally appreciate it. And, you know, you could help us grow this community one person at a time. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will catch you all in the next one, and peace.